many do you want? How many do you want? 5, 10? Just a few. You got it.
MS now. MS now.
Video is fine. You do the video.
Got it.
Now you're going to see news of the week.
You need help with that?
Andrew, do you want a box to sit on?
Sure.
I just have to give it back because it's for sons.
Yeah, please.
Is that helpful? It should be like short enough so you can at least sit.
Much like me. Short enough.
It's still more comfortable.
You know, I'm so used to crowd.
Is that a little better? It's better than like the ground. Better? Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Henry, I'm proud.
Here we go.
Proud moment of a realistic career. Sitting on a box.
Yeah.
Pool's going in.
Now?
Who's going in?
Pool's going in.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can all just take a big deep breath. Take a whole big deep breath.
Yeah, check 1, 2. Is this old ass Trump coming out? What happened to the camera? Maybe he's coming out now, y'all. I think they're coming out. Yeah, I don't know what happened to the audio, but the audio is about to be on. 2 seconds. Maybe Trump had a heart attack. Oh my God, it's a Muslim man who's not giving him money. Maybe Trump had a heart attack. You never know. What's up, Bits?
Check.
Facing desk.
The desk?
He's at the desk.
Evan?
Facing, he'll be at the desk. Yeah.
What's that?
Yes.
Are they across from each other? How are they?
I don't know. There's people behind the desk.
There's people behind the desk. So we're going to, that's just going to cross over. With that, you got you guys.
Okay, what was that all about? Okay, here we go. It's coming back up. I guess they had to do a little audio check or something. Apparently Trump is coming out soon, and let's see if he can stand up. Let him wobble his big ass out there. Whoa, whoa, here I come, the old ogre. Oh, now they're letting people in the room. Is that what's going on here? They're letting people in the room? Yes. Finally. So here we go. Let's hear there. They couldn't do it. You know, Trump doesn't like people to see him be outplayed by certain types. You know what I'm saying? You know, and Americans like to talk back. So Trump ain't going to have that all the time. He won't let you see Jeffries in the room with him talking, you know, Schumer, Mamdani. You know, it's got to be afterwards.
We've just had a great meeting, a really good, very productive meeting. We have one thing in common. We want this city of ours that we love to do very well. And I wanted to
Trump owes New York's
congratulate the
taxes.
mayor. He really ran an incredible race against, you know, a lot of smart people, starting with the early.
Uh-oh.
I would say it's like
What
having
the
another
hell?
producer in the room.
Hold on. Okay, hold on, y'all. Here we go. Boom.
And I congratulated him. He really ran an incredible race against, a lot of smart people.
What's up,
Starting
T?
with the early
Tia,
primaries
what's up?
against some very tough people, very smart people. And he beat him, and he beat him easily. And I congratulated him. And we talked about some things in very strong common, like housing and getting housing built, and food and prices, and the price of oil is coming way down. Anything I do is going to be good for New York. If I can get prices down, it's good for New York. And we've got them down, way down from last year.
Let me see Mamdani's face.
As you know, I've been saying to a lot of people, Walmart said that Thanksgiving this year is exactly 25% less than last year. So that's good for New York, good for everybody.
Here's Mamdani's face
But
now.
I just want to congratulate. I think you're going to have, hopefully, a really great mayor. The better he does, the happier I am, I will say. There's no difference in party. There's no difference in anything. And we're going to be helping him to make everybody's dream come true, having a strong and very safe New York. And congratulations, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Oh, you mean he's talking to a communist? Before Mamdani was a communist, y'all. Communism. Woo! Be scared of Mamdani. He's coming to get you. He's going to destroy New York, y'all. Be careful. He's a socialist. Look out. Look out. He hates Jews. Did you know he's going to blow and kill all the Jews? Before, that's what they were saying, huh? Exactly,
President, thank you. I appreciate it. Please.
I appreciated the meeting with the president, and as he said, it was a productive meeting focused on a place of shared admiration and love, which is New York City, and the need to deliver affordability to New Yorkers, the 8.5 million people who call our city their home, who are struggling to afford life in the most expensive city in the United States of America. We spoke about rent, we spoke about groceries, we spoke about utilities, we spoke about...
Yeah, Trump folded.
the different ways in which people are being pushed out, and I appreciated the time with the president. I appreciated the conversation. I look forward to working together to deliver that affordability for New Yorkers.
Thank you very much.
Sounds damn good.
Any questions, please?
President Trump, Stephen Nelson from the New York Post. I've got a question for you, and then also one for Mayor-elect.
Sure.
For you, you referred to Mr. Mamdani as a communist. Can you describe why you feel that way? And also, will you do anything to stop him from arresting Prime Minister Netanyahu if he visits New York?
Well, we didn't discuss your
Well, that's a damn good question right there.
second part of the question. And on your first part, he's got views that are a little out there, but who knows? We're going to see.
Damn, Trump is folding on Netanyahu. Damn. But Trump will fold on anybody. Yo, Trump has no friends. He got no friends in this game. And Netanyahu damn sure ran Trump through the motherfucking ringer. Like, Netanyahu doesn't give a fuck about Trump either. Like, really.
What works, or he's going to change also. We all change. I change a lot.
Here comes the grift splaining. We change. We all change a lot, y'all. We change it. We change for the best, Sometimes even the worst of us change for the best sometimes,
Or, he's got views that are a little out there, but who knows? We're going to see what works, or he's going to change also. We all change. I change a lot. From when I first came to office. It's now quite a while ago.
Something is happening here. This is really interesting. Like, wow, this is the most polite I've ever seen Trump treat any human being in his life. He don't even treat Pam Bondi and Cash Patel like this. Like, what the hell did Mamdani have? Yo, I'm starting to think Mamdani got the tapes and shit. Did Mamdani get the Trump tapes or some shit? Like, dude, he got the Epstein files? What the fuck is going on here, yo?
We're going to see what works, or he's going to change also. We all change. I change a lot. From when I first came to office.
Mamdani got the Epstein files, yo.
It's now quite a while ago. It's quite a while. My first term was great. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country. We're doing even better now. We're doing much better now than we did even the first term. And I can tell you some of my views have changed. And we had discussions.
I see. A lot of his views have changed like instantly. Usually that only happens with who? Putin and who else? Epstein.
On something. I'm not going to discuss what they were, but
I'm not going to discuss what they were. What the fuck? This is something mystical, magical happening here.
We did even the first term.
I think Mamdani got the tapes.
And I can tell you some of my
and look at him. Look at Mamdani's face. He's sitting over here quiet as hell. Look at his shit. Yeah. like, I told you. This dude is too cool, man. He is too cool. Damn. I'm learning something.
And, we had discussions on some things.
Look
I'm
at
going
this
to
dude's
discuss
face.
what they were, but
Look at this. Look at
I
this.
feel very confident that he can do a very good job. I think
What
they
the-
were, but
Look at his face.
we had
Trump looks down when he's lying. That's the telltale sign. Something happened here. Click the like button, y'all. Let's click the like button, please. Something happened here. Somebody pulled his card.
discussions on some things. I'm not going to discuss what they were, but
It was the Epstein files, goddammit. Somebody have them.
that
I know what they
I
were.
feel very confident that he can do a very good job. I think he's going to be. I think he is going to surprise some conservative people. Actually,
Put a 1 in the chat if you think he got the Epstein files. I mean, this is, what the hell's going on here? I'm like, what the? This is a complete role reversal, just like the Epstein file. You know, it's Put a 1 in the chat if you think he got the Epstein files. Mamdani got the Epstein files. That's what I think. Fuck it.
and some very liberal people. He won't surprise them because they already like him.
Cynthia.
And Mr. Mamdani, it sounds like you had a productive discussion, but just days ago you referred to President Trump as a despot who betrayed the country. You said you'd be his worst nightmare and accused him of having a fascist agenda. Are you planning to retract any of these remarks in order to improve your relationship?
I think both President Trump and I, we are
Stop. Look at Trump's face. Look at Trump's face right here. What the hell? Hold on.
very clear about
Who betrayed the country. You said you'd be his worst nightmare and accused him of having a fascist agenda. Are you planning to
Look at
retract any
Trump's
of these remarks?
face. He doesn't like that question. Trump doesn't like the question. This is weird.
I think he's going to be. I think he is going to surprise some conservative people. Actually, and some very liberal people. He won't surprise them because they already like him.
And Mr. Mamdani, it sounds like you had
He's going to surprise some conservative people. He's going to surprise some liberal people that already like him. Like, okay.
a productive discussion, but just days ago you referred to President Trump as a despot who betrayed the country. You said you'd be his worst nightmare and accused him of having a fascist agenda. Are you planning to retract any of these remarks in order to improve your relationship?
I think both President Trump and I, we are very clear about our positions and our views, and what I really appreciate about the president is that the meeting that we had focused not on places of disagreement, which there are many, and also focused on the shared purpose that we have in serving New Yorkers. And frankly, that is something that could transform the lives of the 8.5 million people who are currently struggling under a cost of living crisis, with 1 in 4 living in poverty. And the meeting came back again and again to what it could look like to lift those New Yorkers out of struggle and start to deliver them a city that they could do more than just struggle to afford it, but actually start to live in it.
And I've been called.
You know something? Actually, he could use Mamdani should have been his vice president because he's more articulate than J.D. Vance. Like, J.D. Vance has none of this smooth, polished shit about communication. J.D. Vance is just a suck up. Mamdani didn't suck up to his ass at all, and he's coming off like, yo, we got this shit going on, y'all. We worked it out. That is amazing, and that's the point. You know, a lot of you people out there focus on sucking up to Trump, kissing his ass, doing everything he tells you, never standing up, and he walks all over you. That's the whole goddamn point. And military, you people out there that you upset, you know, don't tell us not to follow illegal orders. You better learn a lesson too. You don't stand up to this man, you're going to get walked all over by him and everybody else. Watch.
Much worse than a despot, so it's not.
Take some pointers from Mamdani. Why don't you?
It's not that insulting. But maybe I think he'll change his mind after we get to working together. Yes, please.
Mr. President, Anthony Mashhad from MTV Lebanon.
Good.
I would like to ask you a question about the Middle East regarding
Sure.
you said that Hezbollah in Lebanon is not in a good position. And Lebanon now is the final unresolved after Gaza. And
Somebody said in the chat, Trump was like, no homeless? Why not? Yeah, you know, that's what Trump is going to do. But there's something mysterious going on here. And Trump has pulled this number a few times. Trump, he has these private meetings, then he comes out, and sometimes the meetings that he doesn't show you are the ones that I think are most profound. Like the ones Trump, to put it short, Trump is a chump and he doesn't like to meet people that stand up to him. He doesn't want that on camera. So you can automatically tell when he respects somebody, their meeting won't be on camera. What you will have is an after effect. That's the only thing. But I think in this case, Trump really needed something. He needed a victory. And I think Mamdani is much more clever than him. It was able to maybe coax him into wanting to work with him. You know what I mean? Mamdani's not a fool. And if Trump really was, how can I say this? How do you back off of all those words that you said about somebody if that individual didn't gain your respect somehow, or if they didn't say something to you that, caught your eye? Like, this is not typical Trump. Trump is going to, who Trump's going to get foul on? He's going to get foul on Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, because they did no pushback. All the people that did no pushback, Trump is going to eat them for breakfast. He's going to eat them. He's going to throw them out, like straight up here.
Given your assessment, like what do you say for the Lebanese today? It's the independent state in Lebanon. And what is your next move to push toward disarmament?
Sure. Well, we are pushing for total disarmament of Hamas and, frankly, everybody else. And we actually have peace in the Middle East. As you know, the King of Saudi Arabia just left yesterday. We had some great meetings, and he's made a contribution toward the United States of more than $1 trillion. We have now over $20 trillion coming in. No country has ever had anything like that, not even close. If you go to 2 trillion or 1 trillion, it's a lot. We have 20 or 21 trillion dollars. I think that Hezbollah has been a problem in Lebanon, big problem. We're working with Lebanon. We're working with everybody in the Middle East. That's another thing I think we have.
I'm sorry. Yeah, my fault. Let me pull that back a little bit. I just want to hear what he just said one more time. He seems to be flipping. His tone is a lot softer. This is interesting.
Good position. And Lebanon.
Good.
I would like to ask you a question about the Middle East regarding
Sure.
you did said that Hezbollah in Lebanon is not in a good position. And Lebanon now is the final unresolved after Gaza and Syria. Given your assessment, like what do you say for the Lebanese today? It's the independent state in Lebanon. And what is your next move to push toward disarmament?
Sure. Well, we are pushing for total disarmament of Hamas and, frankly, everybody else. And we actually have peace in the Middle East. As you know, the King of Saudi Arabia just left yesterday. We had some great meetings, and he's made a contribution toward the United States of more than $1 trillion. We have now over $20 trillion coming in. No country has ever had anything like that, not even close. If you go to 2 trillion or 1 trillion, it's a lot. We have 20 or 21 trillion dollars. I think that Hezbollah has been a problem in Lebanon, big problem. We're working with Lebanon. We're working with everybody in the Middle East. That's another thing I think we have in common. We want to see peace in the Middle East. And we actually have now, for the first time, peace in the Middle East after 3,000 years. And now we're going to refine it. And I think you're going to see some very positive things happen.
There is a potential to invite the Lebanese president.
Oh, sure. Oh, I would do that. Absolutely. And if the mayor would like to be here for that meeting, because I know he feels very strongly. I think you feel very, very strongly about peace in the Middle East.
We desperately want it.
That is facts. He's still recovering from his second pimp hand experience. That's for damn sure. Trump looked like a goddamn wreck, and I think that is basically it. That sums it up. Look at how smooth Mamdani is right here. Look at how he's so keen to step in. He wasn't afraid to jump right in there, right after Trump. A lot of these other people look for permission. They might even say, President Trump, may I say a word? Can I say something? J.D. Vance and shit, please. Actually, nobody else says a damn thing until Trump says, you might want to say something about it. But that's not Mamdani here. He just stepped in right after Trump. Look at this. That shows you he's very confident here in this situation. I mean, that's what that tells me.
Oh, sure. Oh, I would do that. Absolutely. And if the mayor would like to be here for that meeting, because I know he feels very strongly. I think you feel very, very strongly about peace in the Middle East. I think
We desperately want it, and that's something that I shared with the president, that when I spoke to New Yorkers who had voted for the president last November on Hillside Avenue and Fordham Road, I asked them why. I heard again and again two major reasons. One was that they wanted an end to forever wars. They wanted an end to the taxpayer dollars we had funding violations of human rights, and they wanted to address the cost of living crisis. And I appreciated the chance to discuss both of those things.
he said a lot of my voters actually voted for him, and
One in 10.
And I'm okay with that. I'll do that. I'll sign it. Give it to me. I'll sign it in a minute.
Yeah, Trump needs a win here. Trump needs a win.
That's pretty good.
Mr. President,
Yeah, please.
you threatened to send federal troops to New York City. You both have differences when it comes to ICE agents
Right.
in New York City. Mr. Mamdani, you called ICE a rogue government entity. I wonder how you reconcile your differences on both of those issues.
Well, I think we're going to work them out, and I think that if we have known murderers and known drug dealers and some very bad people, we want to get them out. And the mayor wants to have peace. We discussed this at great length, actually, maybe more than anything else. He wants to have a safe New York. Ultimately, a safe New York is going to be a great New York. If it's not safe, no matter how well we do with pricing and with anything else, we can talk about anything you want. If you don't have safe streets, it's not going to be a success. So we're going to work together. We're going to make sure that if there are horrible people there, we want to get them out. I think he wants to get them out, maybe more than I do. So we'll work together. We discussed it at great length. Yes, please.
Yeah, two questions, if I may. One for you, Mr. President, from BBC in a second. But first of all, for the mayor-elect. You're both, from different parts of the political spectrum, you're both populists, though. And I just wondered to what extent the president's campaign style, his techniques, his social media use inspired any part of your campaign.
Well, I actually told the president that, so much of the focus of our campaign has been on the cost of living crisis. And when we asked those New Yorkers who had voted for the president, when we saw an increase in his numbers in New York City, that came back to the same issue: cost of living, cost of living, cost of living. And they spoke about the cost of groceries, the cost of rent, the cost of Con Ed, the cost of childcare. And too often, politicians are looking to lecture to New Yorkers what they should care about, as opposed to listen. And when we spoke to those voters who voted for President Trump, we heard them speak about cost of living. We focused on that same cost of living, and that's where I am really looking forward to delivering for New Yorkers in partnership with the president on the affordability agenda.
And I think we have to work a little bit. We talked about Con Edison. We have to work a little bit on getting the prices, because, we've gotten fuel prices way down, but it hasn't shown up in Con Edison. And we're going to have to talk to them. If we're sending them fuel at a much lower.
We're going to have to do some socialism there to get that whole thing to work. We're going to have to talk to Con Edison and say, hey, man, get the prices down. Why are you charging so much for your services, Con Edison?
Price than it was a year ago, which is true.
The price should be going down. I've been doing all of this shit to get the prices to go down, and you're still not bringing prices down, Con Edison? Sounds like socialism. I mean, according to the critics, every other Western country has healthcare built in for everyone, education built in for everyone, normalizes prices, has reasonable prices. The government steps in when there's inflation and things like this getting too high to where the average person can't go about their business, because guess what? The average person is the one who pays the bills. The average person, the average taxpayer, is the one who actually pays for the military, pays for the big budget shit. You see what I mean? So if the average person can't live a just regular, dignified life when going to work, then what's this all about anyway? You see what I mean? Capitalism can't be exploitive. It needs to drive the industry. It needs to work, but it can't exploit. That's different.
True. We have to get Con Edison to start lowering the rates.
Absolutely.
And if I may, last week,
Absolutely. Damn.
BBC for up to $5 billion. You're going to speak to Prime Minister Starmer as well. Is there any progress or any updates on those issues?
Well, we get along very well with the Prime Minister. We made a deal with UK. I like him. He's a fine person. And, I think they have some big energy problems. They've got windmills all over the place. They're going to have to start using other methods because
listen to dumbass Trump. He just got finished talking about Con Edison. What the fuck does he think Con Edison? They're an electricity company, dumbass. The fact that you are not allowing for different forms of goddamn clean energy, what do you think that produces? Electricity, jackass. You know, and this dude, Trump is just a Trump, he stops all that shit and then says he's going to talk to Con Edison. I mean, come on. What the hell is this? Who said Con Edison can't invest in some windmill stocks? Who said Con Edison can't invest in solar energy? Who told them not to? What the, you know what I'm saying? And all you had to do was give them a damn incentive, a tax break and shit. You know what I'm saying? And they would do it. And this Trump comes along and just stops all of that shit. And now he's sitting there talking to Mamdani about bringing the cost of electricity down. This dude, man, this guy is just full of shit. So Bits, obviously you're correct. You know, he needs a win. You know, he got his ass beat. He got his ass whipped back to back, 2 fights. And he came out real goddamn bad. Like his eyes are still black and blue from this last fight. I mean, what else can he do? He's willing to deal now. He's willing to go full communist and shit now. Trump's willing to do anything to save his ass. Now them Epstein files getting at his ass. Now he's willing to play ball with the Dems. Damn.
Their energy is out of control. Talking about in the UK.
What's up? How you maggots feel out there, huh? You like that? You like how that worked? Okay.
Out of control. And he's got that problem. He's got a big immigration problem, as you know, and he's got a big energy problem. And
click the like button. Click the like button for me, please. Click the like button, y'all.
We talk about it. He's a good man. Prime Minister's a good man.
Trump is kissing everybody's ass now. The Prime Minister's a good man.
I haven't spoken this week.
Have you spoken to President Zelensky, or do you intend to
Who?
President Zelensky about your plan? Are you going to meet with him?
I've spoken with their people. We have a plan. It's horrible what's happening. It's a war that should have never happened. It would have never happened if I was president, and it's a shame. And
so why the hell is it happening now? You are the president, asshole. Like, why is it happening now? Why didn't you stop it in the first time you were president? What happened? See, the last time when Trump was president, he said the same thing. It would have never started if I was the president. And what did you do about it? Nothing. Just sat on it. Nothing. Didn't do nothing. And now he's saying that again, but he was already the president. So when is he the president that's going to make a goddamn difference?
He should have acted quicker, but it's a cold winter, and a lot of the you talk about utilities, but a lot of the big energy producing plants have been under attack, to put it mildly, to put it nicely. We have a way of getting peace, or we think we have a way of getting peace. He's going to have to approve it. Just so sad, so many people. You know, last month they lost 25,000 soldiers. This is something, we haven't seen anything like this since the Second World War. And they're averaging 6,000 or 7,000 a week between the two of them, dead soldiers. And it goes on and on. And
doesn't he want Russian people to have heat? Like, it's so funny how he talks about, you know, yeah, it's getting colder, and he's acting like he's talking about Zelensky. He's thinking that the heat is going to stop Zelensky. The heat hasn't stopped goddamn Russians. Do you think Russia has heat? How well is the heat working in Russia right about now? The oil is getting blown up. What the hell? This dude, I don't get it, man. So Trump, he repeats the same things, and he makes it almost impossible for anyone to make a deal with him, because he just keeps saying shit that is like, shows that he doesn't listen to anybody else but himself.
I think they're getting reasonably close, but I don't want to predict. I would have said that would have been one of my early ones. I did 8 peace deals of countries, including in India, Pakistan. You could even go, in fact, they're coming here in a week or two, go to the Congo and Rwanda. That was 10 million people dead, and we worked something out on that. But so many. And the one I thought would have been, for me, because I have a very good relationship with President Putin, I thought that would have been maybe quicker. But it does take 2 to tango. And now you just see all the death. And, you know, it doesn't affect us other than the fact that we don't want to see all those people that really, it's on the other side of the ocean. It's a war that should have never happened. It did happen. I blame the person also sitting right behind this desk this is a war that should have never happened, and it wouldn't have happened if I were president. But we're trying to save a lot of lives.
He acts like saying that is doing something. You know, that's the only thing Trump has really done is say something. This war should have never happened. That's the biggest thing he does is say that statement. You know, everything else is contrary to getting it solved. Outside of Ukraine, why don't you just give up the land that was stolen from you twice, 2 times? Why don't you just give up all of that shit and have no access to the sea? That's literally, I mean, have you guys ever looked at a map? Do you see what they're asking them to give up? They're giving up. Basically, they had half of the access to the sea. And now they have what, 10% after this last invasion? So that's what he's asking them to accept. Do you think that doesn't have some security issues that kind of are pretty complex at that point? You see what I mean? Yeah. But in any case, it doesn't sound like it's going to end with this one, if you ask me. If you ask me, Ukraine can go through another winter. I mean, it's not up to me anyway, but just knowing kind of how they think and how Putin thinks, Putin doesn't seem to be operating in good faith either. So, yeah.
They're losing 25,000 lives over the last short period of time. That's Ukrainian and Russian. And it's a shame.
What happens I want to ask the mayor-elect about a House resolution just passed overwhelmingly to condemn socialism, including with 86 Democrats, all of House Dem leadership, and the minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, despite his endorsement of you. What's your reaction to that?
I have to be honest with you, I focused very little on resolutions. Frankly, I've been focusing...
Socialism.
I understand. I think the focus is on the work at hand. I can tell you I am someone who is a democratic socialist. I've been very open about that. And I know there might be differences about ideology, but the place of agreement is the work that needs to be done to make New York City affordable. That's what I look forward to.
And I want to clarify your answer to Stephen Nelson. He asked about your comment calling the president a fascist. And your answer was, both President Trump and I have been clear about our positions and our views. Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay. You can just say yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. It's easier. It's easier than explaining it.
Fall is right around the corner. I feel like we're all...
You know what? That is interesting right there. That's interesting, that question. And what did Trump just do? Trump was just like, no, that's okay. You don't have to answer that. Let's hear it again. Let's hear that one more time. Sorry about that.
Dignity. There's been criticism that this deal...
You mean he doesn't like it?
It's unclear. He was sort of
Well, he'll have to like it. And if he doesn't like it, then, they should just keep fighting, I guess,
The suggestion that he made, though, was that if he doesn't accept it, that the U.S. would pull back its support for Ukraine. Is that
Well, at some
accurate?
point he's going to have to accept something. He hasn't accepted. You remember right in the Oval Office not so long ago, I said, you don't have the cards. Don't forget, I inherited this war. This war never would have happened. I inherited this war. And I thought he should have made a deal a year ago, 2 years ago. The ultimate deal would have been if it never started. That would have been the good deal. That could have been done, too, if you had the right president. But you didn't have the right president.
Mr. President, cost of living is something that you and Mr. Mamdani seem to agree on.
Right.
Democrats have run New York City for a long time, Mr. Mamdani. Do you see Democrat policy specifically as being a problem? And I'd like that to be a question that both of you could answer in New York City.
Look, I think that there are many things in our city where we have to own the responsibility of it, things that existed long before the president was the president. And those are also part of the message of our campaign, was to take on a broken politics of the past. And I ran against a number of candidates who represented different versions of that past. And what we found time and again is that working people were left behind in the politics of our city. And what we're looking to do is put those people right back at the heart of our politics so that we don't have a situation where we're in the wealthiest city in the history of the world, and yet 1 in 5 can't even afford $2.90 for a Metro card.
Mr. Mamdani.
We had some interesting conversation, and some of his ideas really are the same ideas that I have. But a big thing on cost, the new word is affordability. Another word is just groceries. You know, it's sort of an old-fashioned word, but it's very accurate. And they're coming down high. They were, you know, we had, both of us, we had the highest inflation in the history of our country the last 4 years under the Biden administration. And we've got inflation down now to a normal number. It's going to go even a little bit lower than that. Katie, do you have something in it?
Mr. President, thank you so much. Mr. Mamdani often talks about New York City being covered by international law, that they will follow international law. Doesn't often talk about the U.S. Constitution. What is your response to that?
Well, I don't know what you're referring to in terms of it could be covered by international law, local law. It's covered by a lot of laws, but it's covered by U.S. law. Are you referring to anything in particular?
You just said that they're a city that endorses and enforces international law. Is that at odds with?
No, I don't know. Would you want to? Do you want to respond?
Yeah, I think what I've shared with the president is our desire to not only follow the laws of our own city, laws that protect New Yorkers, but also a desire for consistency in our politics across the board. And that's something that we've talked about and something that I know many New Yorkers want.
So you were with ICE? We were with ICE then?
We discussed ICE and New York City, and I spoke about how the laws that we have in New York City allow for New York City government to speak to the federal administration for about 170 serious crimes. The concerns that many New Yorkers have are around the enforcement of immigration laws on.
I just got to interject here. Listen, Mamdani is doing better than any person, even the people that sit there and claim to agree with Trump, even his cabinet members. Mamdani is just a stronger, more capable. He's not even seasoned, but obviously he's way more educated and ready. You know, I mean, this dude this is his press meeting. Most of these other people, they can't take over a meeting with savvy like this with Trump. I'm talking about his own cabinet members. And Trump, you know, he would never let Hakeem Jeffries upstand him, which is why he doesn't go on camera with Hakeem Jeffries. He would never let Schumer upstand him. He did that once, and that shit totally backfired. You see what I'm saying? So it's interesting watching this. Yeah, but if I was one of Trump's cabinet members, I would be totally embarrassed because this guy is upstaging all of them. Like, he makes them all look stupid. And think about this. Trump came in there talking about him like he's a socialist, he's a communist, he hates Jews, he does this, all of this shit, he's going to destroy New York, la la la. And the guy that he was talking about like that, they seem to have a better conversation than Trump has with people that even agree with him. Pam Bondi, you ever seen Pam Bondi around Trump? She looks nervous as shit. Kash Patel is only standing there like a stiff piece of meat, like, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. They're all there like, yes, sir. That's not Mamdani's demeanor at all. This is very, very strange looking. Yeah.
New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs, and most recently we're talking about a mother and her 2
Kudos to Mamdani, by the way.
children, how this has very little to do with what that is.
Mr. Mamdani,
What we did is we discussed crime. More than ICE per se, we discussed crime. And he doesn't want to see crime, and I don't want to see crime. And I have very little doubt that we're not going to get along on that issue. He wants to, and he said some things that were very interesting as to housing construction, and he wants to see houses go up. He wants to see a lot of houses created, a lot of...
Yeah, the proud atheist. He ain't scared of Trump. And the rest of the, you know, that's what it is. And let's be honest. Let's be honest. If you have a spine, if you have any integrity, you wouldn't fucking be scared of Trump either. You would stand your goddamn ground, period, because it's not about even being scared. It's because you have integrity. You believe in your cause. That's why you stand up to people. But these other folks, they don't even have a cause. That's the thing around Trump. They just stand there and, yes, sir, yes, sir. Anything you say, Trump.
Apartments built, etc.
This is one of the people Trump was about to tell Pam Bondi to go and arrest and shit. You know what I'm saying? He was about to tell him, you got to arrest this Mamdani. You know what I'm saying? And here he is, he got Trump wrapped around his finger.
You know, we actually, people would be shocked. But I want to see the same thing.
Click the like button, y'all. This is crazy.
The anti-Israel protesters
Jack?
Mr. President, I want to know one of the policies as well that Mayor-elect Mamdani talked a number of times about on the campaign was shifting the tax burden for property taxes from what he called minority communities to white-based communities and putting more taxes on white people. I also noticed that in your acceptance speech you didn't mention anything about America or Christians or white people in general, and so I didn't know if that was one of the policies that you guys had spoken about.
We focused on affordability. We focused on the cost of living crisis. What I will say is that I am very much interested in property tax reform because what we see right now in New York City is a system that is so inequitable that it can't even stand up in court. And the President and I spoke about the importance of not only building more housing, but also making sure that regulation of housing is something that is manageable to actually get through and not the cause of yet another weight that we see in our
city. To be clear, you're continuing this idea of race-based property taxes.
No, to be very clear,
that's what you said.
No, the use of the term was a description of neighborhoods, not a description of intent.
So you intend to tax the whiter neighborhoods more?
No, we intend to create a fair property tax system because we want a New York City that is not only fair and equitable, but also one that every New Yorker can afford.
Please, God.
Mr. Mamdani, anti-Israel protesters just targeted a synagogue in New York. Are you concerned about Jewish New Yorkers feeling welcome and safe in the city? And President Trump, you threatened to cut off federal funding to New York City. What policies would prompt you to do that? Would that be city-run grocery stores? Would it be something else?
Well, I think if we didn't get along, whether it's...
Well, I think if we didn't get along... Well, there you have it, folks. There you have it. They get along. Damn. This is amazing. I've never seen this happen before. I'm like, damn, could it really be like this? I had no clue. I just assumed like, this is going to be very, very strange. But now it's been proven that no, you can actually stand up to Trump, tell him what the fuck you think, and actually get something out of it. And when you don't, you get slapped around. That's what happens. Look, all these people standing around Trump, they're going to look stupid tomorrow. Sitting there just sucking up whatever Trump says. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We just do whatever you say. Folks, have some integrity. Things work out much better. You save a whole lot of wasted energy that way. Just have some integrity. Just believe in yourself a little bit, especially if you done a little bit of good already, you know. I mean, damn. You know, Mamdani, these people made him feel like wanting to help the homeless and help the working poor was a bad thing. They were like, oh, no, he's going to destroy the country if you help American citizens that are poor, American citizens whose families have fought in wars, you know, for the country. Just no. You're evil if you want to help the poor American citizen. That's how they made him sound. They made him sound evil for just wanting prices to fucking be affordable. Like, and he stood his ground. He didn't cave in like the rest of them. They got no goddamn ethics. You see what I mean? He didn't do even what Elon Musk had to do. Elon Musk was willing to kiss Trump's ass, and he's the richest man on earth. Mamdani ain't had to do none of that shit. Mamdani ain't had to do it. And he's walking out with his integrity intact. You see? So let it be a lesson. Don't make this race last forever. Goddamn. Kissing ass to this man is only going to prolong your suffering. Like, seriously.
Just make it a little bit difficult or not give as much.
I would like to meet this man, Mamdani, and shake his hand myself and say thank you. Like, thank you for being a stand-up American. Like, straight up.
See, I use the term, we don't want good money going after bad. And we don't want that to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I did say that, you know, subject to...
I'm having trouble now understanding Trump's language, though. Is he making sense? What the fuck? I can understand Mamdani's English. What the hell? Trump just went on a weave and shit.
Well, I think if we didn't get along, whether it's cut off or just make it a little bit difficult or not give as much, we want to see, I use the term, we don't want good money going after bad. And,
we don't want good money going after bad. Am I missing something there? What the hell? What is he talking about?
We just, we don't want that to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I did say that, subject to what policies are being set. We had a meeting today that actually surprised me. He wants to see no crime. He wants to see housing being built. He wants to see rents coming down, all things that I agree with.
Does Mamdani have his hand in this motherfucker's back? Because he sounds like a puppet right now. It's like, what the hell's going on, man?
Now, we may disagree how we get there. The rent coming down, I think one of the things I really gleaned very much today, he'd like to see him come down, ideally, by building a lot of additional housing.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate way. He agrees with that, and so do I. But if I read the newspapers and the stories, I don't hear that. But I heard him say it today, and I think that's a very positive step. No, I don't expect. I expect to be helping him, not hurting him. A big help, because I want New York City to be great. Look, I love New York City. It's where I come from. I spent a lot of years there. Now I'm right here. We took a big setback with the mayor that we had, Dave de Blasio. I thought it was a tremendous setback for the city. I think this mayor can do some things that are going to be really great.
Mr. President,
Okay, how about you? Go ahead, please.
You're a billionaire. You have a different address nowadays than you used to, but you used to call New York City home. Would you feel comfortable living in New York City under a Mamdani administration?
Yeah, I would. I really would. Especially after the meeting. Absolutely.
What makes you comfortable?
We agree on a lot more than I would have thought. I think I want him to do a great job, and we'll help him do a great job. He may have different views, but in many ways, we were discussing when Bernie Sanders was out of the race, I picked up a lot of his votes, and people had no idea, because he was strong on not getting ripped off in trade and lots of the things that I've practiced and been very successful on. Tariffs, a lot of things. Bernie Sanders and I agreed on much more than people thought. And when he was put out of the race, I think quite unfairly, if you want to know the truth, many of the Bernie Sanders voters voted for me. And I felt very comfortable, frankly, in seeing that and saying that. And, it just turned out to be a statistical truth. But, no, I feel very comfortable. I would feel very, very comfortable being in New York, and I think much more so after the meeting. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a question for you, but a very quick one for
Please.
the mayor. Why did you fly here? Aren't trains?
Yeah, the mayor, the mayor of New York set the president of the United States straight. Yes, he did. He did something to him. Yeah, I don't know what he did, but the cameras was off. They didn't let nobody in the room. So I doubt it was Trump doing it. Look, Trump seems like a febile old man put in his place. He caved in. You're going to talk all this shit, call somebody a Jew hater just because they want to help poor people, just have a fair, opportunity to just do something in the society since they're American citizens. You want to help the working poor. Trump had to go after him like that, call him a communist, say all of this stuff. I mean, when you say all of those things and then you come off, then you back all the way off like this, yeah, you look like a sucker, man. You look like you got put in your place, which a better diplomat would know not to do. That's why a good diplomat keeps your card close, man. Don't go out there. So don't jump out the window on shit. You know what I'm saying? Keep your cards close. Don't be so rude to people, no matter even if you disagree with them. Don't play your cards so fast, but that's what Trump did. And when you play your cards fast, guess what? Somebody drops the joke on your ass and then, game over. This is what it looks like to me. Now,
use every form of.
Now, of course, the extra pressure is that the real pressure, you would think the pressure would be on Mamdani. Right? Because Trump has already openly threatened to withhold federal dollars, even though that's not going to work. Right. But he would do it in the interim until the courts changed it. Right. He would try to obstruct. But the pressure is on Mamdani because this is the first time he's going up against a two-time president. He's a first-time mayor. He wants to make things work well. The pressure's on him. The earnest is on him to do everything you can do to make New York better. But in this case, it's almost like He's running a master class, which nobody expected. Like, seriously, nobody expected that. No pun to Mamdani, but it just wasn't expected, you know. But here it is. We have to accept it.
Transit, and I want to make sure that they're all affordable in New York City, and that's why making buses fast and free is a centerpiece of our campaign.
Did you?
There is a bus that goes.
Well, but I know, but it'd be fluid. That's a lot quicker too. You know, I mean, he's working very hard. For him to be, that's
this is not the first time he had a job. You out of your mind. What are you talking about? He's already working for New York City in another capacity. So I think you know, whoever said that, you all don't see. That's what I mean. But you don't have to jump out the window. You know, it's good enough to say that the guy never actually has never been a mayor before. You know, it's good enough to say he's going up against a 2-time president. That don't mean the 2-time president is that great. And him just being the mayor for the first time doesn't mean he's that bad. But it also doesn't mean he hasn't held another office before this. He has for New York City, you know. So, yeah. And even if he hasn't, he's had a job. I mean, this is not an incompetent person. This is first of all, you know what? Let's, oh, you're welcome, sweetie. While we do that, pause that for a second. I'm sorry. Let me, what is Mamdani's resume? Okay, so since somebody said that, one thing I like to do is just dispel lies. You know, and these are lies that people just spread openly and willingly. You know what I'm saying? But it's a good idea to take a look at what somebody is really about. You know what I'm saying? So let me play this back a little bit for folks. Let me see here. It says Mamdani, it says that he, 2 seconds. Yeah. It says that, okay, his honors, here we go. Let me go up to the top. Okay. Academic positions. Hold on. Okay. Here we go. Oh, damn. This dude got Mamdani is prominent scholar of in African politics, colonialism, and post-colonial studies. Mamdani, his bio resume, born April 23rd, 1946. So, hold on. Is this the right one? Yeah, this is the right one. Yeah. But damn, 1940, he's older than, is this the right one? Hold on. Damn. This is interesting because is there more than one? There's grown up in the same city, got the same resume? Okay, here we go. Sorry, I said, thank God I got that right. I'm like, what the hell am I reading? Okay, born in 1991. I was about to say, how the hell is this dude older than me, y'all? Okay, all right, here we go. Born in 1991. Now, listen, I'm 55 years old. This guy is 20 years younger than me. So I'm going to tell you right off the bat, this is a great achievement. You cannot make, if you are here in this chat with me, you can't make fun of him at all. You can't make fun of anything about him academically or experience-wise, work and ethic-wise. Like, I'm just saying that it's not that we're not that great, but what I'm saying is that this is an exceptional individual. You see what I mean? Right off the top. That's something an intelligent person would pick up on just by his demeanor, just by the fact that he walked out of his room like that, but just out of the fact that he could convince New York to run for him. To vote for him. That's not a hustle. The guy has some know-how. Now, and me and you ain't mayor of New York, and Trump is the president. So what you trying to say? You trying to say Trump had experience? I mean, what the hell he have experience on? Putting his hands on little girls? What is it? But in any case, cheating taxes. Now, let's just go to his education. High school, he went to high school in the Bronx, High School of Science. College, he went to Bowdoin College. He got his BA in African Studies. Okay. He worked as a housing counselor. Okay. Where was that? In New York, right? So yeah. Okay. He had a brief run in music, rap. Okay, damn, I got to hear some of his music. I didn't know that. Okay, political career now. For the person who said this is his first job, he was elected New York State Assemblyman in 2020. So you see, he's already been an elected official for New York. You see? So I don't know if you've ever done that. The person that said he never had a job. Have you ever been an elected official in New York for New York City? Let me know. Right. And his district was the 36th district that he was an assemblyman in Astoria, Queens. Big up Astoria. Anybody ever been to Astoria? I've been to Astoria. Yes, Astoria, Queens. Reelected to assembly in 2022. So he had 2 terms. He was reelected. So that's twice that he's been elected by the people of New York. You see what I mean? Why would you elect somebody twice? You elected Trump twice. What does that mean? I mean, but this guy is not a billionaire. So you tell me, okay? I don't think Trump hit the canvas like this guy. He ran for New York City mayor, announced candidacy. Okay, so this is his 3rd job, technically, right? Now, let's see what else. Hold on. Let me see something else. Education. Let me just go back to that real quick. And then we can finish watching his meeting here. What did it say? Okay, well, there it is. There it is. But to be honest with you, I think a lot of times we put a lot into this kind of elected official thing, and we don't realize that, listen, if you think somebody else ain't shit, then why don't you go do it? Why don't you run for office? Because, by the way, to be anything, an elected official in a lot of these roles, you don't really need to even have what Mamdani has. Did you know that? Did you know that? One thing about American democracy is you can be the president without no goddamn education. No, nothing. Period. Let me see something here. Let's go over that too. What credentials do you need to be the president of the USA? Let's see here. And by the way, it's also the same with congressional members, you know? Hold on 2 seconds. Hold on. 1 second. All right, I'm back now. Let me see something. So here we go. So let's go over that real quick too, just to make this clear, because I don't like people that talk down about folks that are doing something, you know. It's better to talk down to people that ain't doing shit, and and be very clear about it when you're talking down, because sometimes you might do the same thing and think Mamdani ain't done shit, and then you find out he has. Now, to become the president of the United States, right, you need to be a natural born citizen, at least 35 years old, a resident of the U.S. for 14 years, right? So a lot of people like myself, I'm born in the U.S., so I'm not a naturalized American citizen. I'm an American citizen, okay? My family goes back to the colonial period on both sides. But since I've lived outside of the U.S., if I wanted to run for president, I would have to move back for 14 years. So that's one of the requirements. And outside of that, guess what, y'all? There's no other credentials. No other credential. You don't need to know nothing. You don't need to be nada. You could be a nobody, done nothing. You could have just came out from the gutter smoking crack 50 years and you could be the president. You don't need a elementary school education. You don't need a preschool. You don't even need a preschool education. You don't need to know how to read. You don't need to know one motherfucking thing about anything, and you can be Donald Trump. You could be the president. And you mad at Mamdani? Now let me see here. What credentials what credentials do you need to have to be alderman? I don't know. In NYC. I'm not sure. That's why I'm looking it up. I don't like to say shit that's not factual. Hold on. He's not an alderman. What was it? What was it again? Let me see here. Right. I said alderman. Wait a second. That's not right. He was a what is this? An early career, political career? Assemblyman. I'm sorry. Assemblyman. Okay, hold on. I mean assemblyman. I'm just curious. Let's see here. What do you need to be an assemblyman in New York? To be an assemblyman of New York State, assemblyman, right, or member, requirements. U.S. citizen, you must be a citizen of the United States. Residency in New York State, you must have been a resident in New York State for at least 5 years. You also need to live in a specific assembly district, right, for 12 months, for 1 year, minimum age. There's no minimum age. So you could be 3 years old and be an assemblyman in New York as long as you get the votes. But by statute, you must be at least 18. Okay, damn. So 18. So guess what? It could be your first job. And the presidency could actually be your first goddamn job. Do you understand that now? So why don't you go run for office? Run for office. I mean, what's stopping you? You don't want to be? You're not a citizen? You're not a citizen of the United States? You ain't been in the United States for 14 years? You can run for the president. Or you could not do the big thing. You could start off small and say, I want to be an assemblyman in the district that I live in. You know, I wonder how many districts Queens has. They probably got a lot. You know what I'm saying? Or you could do something else. Be a council member. You want to do that? How about be a member of the school board? Anybody raise your hand. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a member of the school board. Right. You know, so, I mean, it's a lot of things that could be done. But in any case, let's go back to people that at least trying to do something. You know what I'm saying? There you go. I got you. Dry drunk. There you go. Let's get back to at least 2 people. Trump is at least trying to bullshit people. I mean, goddamn, give him some credit.
A very long drive. I'll stick up for you. You know, the plane takes you 30 minutes and driving takes you a
And
long
Mr.
time.
President, I was wondering if you could clear up some confusion around a Washington Post report. There was this explosive report that the Coast Guard is no longer going to characterize swastikas and nooses as hate symbols. DHS called that a lie and fake news. Can you clear up?
I don't know anything about it. When was this written?
I think yesterday.
Well, look, the Coast Guard's an incredible group of people. I know them very well. We just ordered a lot of new Coast Guard cutters. Beautiful, the most magnificent ship. They look like yachts with lots of guns on them.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Mamdani, he can't be president because he wasn't born in the U.S. But the rest of you, anybody born in the U.S., you could just walk your ass and just come out of the gutter, do anything. You don't need a education. You don't need a high school diploma. You don't need to have had a job before. You don't need to have done anything. You could go directly from crack dealing to being the president of the United States. Why don't you try it? That's my advice. Try it. Don't knock it till you try it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's stopping you? You know what I'm saying? It didn't stop Trump. You know what I mean? It didn't stop Trump. I mean, damn.
So I don't know. I haven't seen any report like that, but certainly we want them to remain a great force, and they are.
I mean, I'm going to tell you, if I was living in the U.S., I would run for something. I don't know what it would be, but I would start off in my damn state. I would start off in D.C. I'm not bullshitting you. And I would use that situation just like Mamdani did. I would do that to clean up some of the council in D.C., to clean up some of the politics in D.C., and then I would jump right off of D.C. to run for the presidency. Yes, I would. After 14 years, I would run right for presidency, and I would just be killing their ass, just like Mamdani is. Killing them.
And you did a piece in all the 9 months around the world. I would like to ask Mr. Mamdani.
Click the like button, y'all. Thank you. Hey, listen, now I will be back in 1 hour. Let me see. I will be back in an hour. No, in 2 hours from now. Something like that. 2.5 hours. This is not my regular broadcast. So I just want to let you know. I just wanted to catch Mamdani here. So
You've accused the U.S. government of committing genocide in Gaza while President Trump was working on peace. Why that?
I've spoken about the Israeli government committing genocide, and I've spoken about our government funding it. And I shared with the president in our meeting about the concern that many New Yorkers have of wanting their.
Let me ask y'all something in the chat. Does does Netanyahu like this conversation? How it's turning out? What do you think? What would you call this? Would you call this asymmetric politics? What would you call this? Now, look, there's a lot of people that have a lot of theories about how things go down, but let me just be the first to tell you, for you conspiracy theories out there, there's no motherfucking way in hell that Israel has control over any fucking thing in the United States of America. Stop spreading that lie. It's something else. Okay? And there's no need to make them out to be any different than a lot of other countries that want things from the United States of America, that receive weapons from the United States of America. It's, you know, Saudi Arabia is there. There's many others. You see what I'm saying? So it's no need to spookify anybody for any reasons. But here's the thing. The reason why I say asymmetric is because now Obama was one that he got AIPAC money. And then he went right out there and did that went out there and did that Iran deal with the nuclear thing. And Israel was not for that. They were against it. They fought it. They spoke openly about it. It's documented in all the newspapers, right? But he got AIPAC money, but he didn't necessarily do exactly what they wanted him to do. You know what I'm saying? He did what he thought he had to do. That's what you do when you are in the seat. You do your shit. Okay? That's what having a backbone is. Doesn't mean he's an enemy of Israel. It just means like maybe you don't know what's best. And I do. And that's why I'm the president. And that's why you're not. Okay? Now, here's Donald Trump. He's in the office with Mamdani. Do you think that that Netanyahu likes to hear what he's saying? I'm not saying Israel because Netanyahu is the president. So let me change that. Do you think Netanyahu likes to hear this conversation right here? Put a 1 in the chat if you think Netanyahu liked to hear this, just what this little interaction right here. Put a 2 in the chat if you think he didn't. Put a 1 in the chat if you think he liked it. Put a 2 in the chat if you think he didn't. Let's hear it right back.
Of committing genocide in Gaza while President Trump was working on peace. Why that?
I've spoken about the Israeli government committing genocide, and I've spoken about our government funding it. And I shared with the president in our meeting about the concern that many New Yorkers have of wanting their tax dollars to go towards the benefit of New Yorkers and their ability to afford basic dignity. And what we see right now is we're in the 9th consecutive year of more than 100,000 school children being homeless in our city. And there's a desperate need not only for the following of human rights, but also the following through on the promises we've made New Yorkers. And I appreciated the meeting we had and the work that we can do.
Do you agree that President Trump did do a peace and work hard to make the peace? Because he worked hard to do the peace in the Middle East and everywhere. Do you agree with that?
I appreciate all efforts towards peace, and I shared with President Trump that when I spoke to Trump voters on Hillside Avenue, including one of whom was a pharmacist that spoke about how President Trump's father actually went to that pharmacy not too far from Jamaica Estates, that people were tired of seeing our tax dollars fund endless wars. And I also believe that we have to follow through on the international human rights, and I know that still today those are being violated, and that continues to be work that has to be done no matter where we're speaking of.
Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Do you view the mayor-elect as...
That was a very interesting exchange. I don't want people to walk away from this moment, and I'm talking about this moment in the White House, right? Forgetting that exchange right there, because people need to discuss that. That needs to be in every legacy, in the legacy media. Everyone needs to discuss that. Whether you're pro-Palestinian or pro-Israeli. And I don't see why you should be pro one or the other. I think you should want both of them to fucking have some peace. You know, I don't think you should be against one or the other. That's my view. I don't think you get peace that way. If peace is your game, if peace is what you want, you know, I don't think it should be as simple as pro one and against the other. I think there got to be some common ground that people from all sides need to push them towards, right? And I also think personally, you know, my personal view is that, you know, the way I wouldn't say Israel took advantage of the United States necessarily, but I would say took advantage of our foreign policy, which our foreign policy for a long time has been we don't walk away from allies. That has been the United States foreign policy for a long time. So we tend to give our allies, ample opportunity to get things done the way they say they need to get it done. But at some point, I think Netanyahu has lost faith. American people have lost faith in Netanyahu. American people don't want to be a part of that shit. And if you violate treaties, that's not getting things done. So there are treaties. Our presence is there because of the treaties. When you violate the treaties, it puts the United States in a bad situation. So not that I think that there hasn't been other bad actors. There have been other bad actors. I don't believe Iran wants peace with Israel. I don't believe Iran wants peace between Palestine and Israel. And for different reasons, because Iran fears the United States' presence in the Middle East, period, for trade reasons. They don't want bigger trade groups. Iran wants, they don't like that. And why? Because the U.S. isn't just making deals with Israel. They're making deals with Saudi Arabia. They're making deals with everybody. Weapons deals with everybody. And those weapons deals are tied to the trade deals. You see what I'm saying? So it's not just about one component. It's many components. Russia doesn't want the USA there, and they also want to fund anything that's against anything the U.S. is working on. But is that pro-Palestinian, or is that just getting more people killed? So there's a lot of components, and many of those components never worked out for Palestinians. And I think at this point, the best thing to do is for everybody to try to do what can be done to reduce the violence and then stop these violations. And as you can see, you've even heard Israel talking about taking more land. You see what I mean? So just the mere talk of that is actually not cool. That doesn't help peace. So, yeah. So in any case, but both sides need to understand the only people that can bring you all together that really have the most interest in bringing this to an end is Israelis and Palestinians. Nobody else has more of an interest in that than Israelis and Palestinians. There's no one else. Everybody else is looking for their own deal, looking for what helps them first. That's the sad part about this. So, yeah, it's not too many good actors.
The true leader of the Democrat Party. And do you think Leader Schumer is a leader Jeffries, have to follow his lead?
Well, look, I hope they have great leaders. This is a man that right now I think is focused in New York City.
And do you think Leader Schumer is a leader?
Let me hear that again.
No matter where we're speaking of.
Mr. President, thank you, Mr. President. Do you view the mayor-elect as the true leader of the Democrat Party? And do you think Leader Schumer is a leader Jeffries, have to follow his lead?
Well, look, I hope they have great leaders. This is a man that right now I think is focused in New York City. I really think he has a chance to do a great job. We're going to help him.
Oh, they tried to get him to take a shot at Democrats. Okay.
But I really think he has a chance to do a great job. But I'll let you answer that. You consider yourself the leader of the Democrats? I think it's more appropriate for him.
I consider myself the next mayor of New York City, and I keep my horizons firmly on New York City. And I appreciate the meeting with the president, which focused again on the 5 boroughs and whether New Yorkers could afford to live there.
By the way, being the mayor of New York City is a big deal.
Absolutely.
I always said, one of the things I would have loved to be someday is the mayor of New York City. Being the mayor of New York, and especially now, because I think you're at really a turning point, one way or the other. It could go great, or it can go in a different direction. And I think you really have a chance to make it great. I appreciate what's happening.
Mr. President, you say you love New York City. Mr. Mamdani, does New York City love?
I wonder what their conversation privately was like, because there seems like they definitely have reached some sort of understanding about how things are going to go. And you can never underestimate Trump's desire or need to feel respected. But there's a way to deal with people straight and to give them their respect if there's any to be given. But there obviously is, because he's the president. He's the most powerful man in the country. Probably the most powerful person in the world, right? At this one given time, even though he's a complete asshole and idiot, right? So it's obvious that that's something you have to concede, in the meeting, that he's the president. But I'm thinking, like, is it just that? Is it just that Trump needed to hear? Is it that he needed to hear it from a Democrat, maybe? Is that what this is about? And then he's got to stand up Schumer. His desire to shit on Schumer and Hakeem is so great, and Nancy Pelosi, that now he's got like someone that really needs to make a deal. And so he's so shallow, he can't see that Mamdani would give him the respect anyway, just because he's the president. It doesn't mean nothing else. But in Trump's mind, it might be like that narcissistic mind where he's like, ha ha, I got a Democrat up here willing to work with me. You know what I'm saying? Willing to make a deal with me. And that's going to make Schumer and Hakeem look like they're not that good because they couldn't make it. They could have made a deal with me, but they didn't want to reach out. Is this what's going on here? I don't know, but it's it's not explainable. It's not explainable. There's some other bullshit going on. This is only in the world of Trump. Only in the world of Trump could this happen. You know what I'm saying? That shows you anything can happen, yo. Don't count nobody out.
New York City loves a future that is affordable. And I can tell you that there were more New Yorkers who voted for President Trump in the most recent presidential election because of that focus on cost of living. And I'm looking forward to working together to deliver on that affordability agenda.
I got a lot of votes. One more. Go ahead. One or two more. Go ahead. I tell you, the press has eaten this thing up. I've had a lot of meetings with the heads of...
Hey, Zeke, I agree with that. Mamdani is very respectful and Trump is being open. Glad to see that. Yeah, at the end of the day, yeah. Because, politicians all of them are paid by the American people, number one. You and me. Even though I pay taxes and I live outside the U.S. as an American citizen. So my tax dollars goes to other stuff, that a lot of Americans don't seem to want or believe they can have or don't believe they deserve. I don't know why the hell that is, but yeah, U.S. got a lot of money to throw around. But in this case, I think it's simple. They're paid by the taxpayer. Their job, their number one mandate is to serve the people, right? I don't hear that enough in American politics, to serve the people, because that's who pays their salary. And I think no matter what the difficulties are, your number one thing is to serve the people, whether you like somebody or not, whether their personality is different from yours or not, whether their politics is different from you or not. You ain't no better. You still better get in that room and start serving the goddamn people. Otherwise, stop fucking begging us for fucking money all the fucking time. You see what I mean? Goddamn, these people are like crackheads, man. They want your tax money all the time. Give me your money. Can I have more money? I'll do this for you. Just give me some tax money. Give me some federal dollars. That's how these motherfuckers act. Like all the time. Every day. Every time you get your check, they there first. Give me some. Can I have some? It's payday. Like what the fuck, yo? They should be doing something for the people. And no matter how pissed off you get at the other politician, you need to understand, motherfucker, that's what you get paid for. But do your job. Get right back in there. And do it again until you get some shit right. And I think that if Republicans and Democrats thought more about that instead of thinking about what they can do to hurt each other, you might actually get somewhere in American politics. You might actually get to the place where other people are getting, because you're getting jacked for your tax dollars. Like, seriously. Straight up.
Countries, nobody cared. This meeting that you people have gone crazy. Outside you have hundreds of people waiting. This is just a small little group.
I mean, you already look. I'm equating them, and I'm no disrespect to no crackhead. No disrespect to no crackhead. Seriously, these people. There's nothing that says you can't have just been smoking crack last year. Had no education, no formal education. Never even went to elementary school. You don't have to go to elementary school to be the president of the United States. You don't have to go to elementary school to be the mayor of New York. Nothing to do with that. You don't have to know nothing. All you have to do is have people vote for you. That's pretty much it. You see what I mean? And all that other shit is like, so that's why I use it, because, I mean, look, there's nothing that said that a lot of Americans look up to these people. Like, these people are supposed to be able to walk all over you for a living. Like they're the fucking king or they're God or some shit like that. Hell fucking no. They're civil servants. They work for you. If you don't give them that tax money, they have nothing. Zero. You see what I mean? The military is there to do what? Only work for the American people. Only. That's their only fucking job on earth. Who pays them? So I think Americans need to get this situation flipped around and stop acting like it's you asking them for something. No. They're there to do a fucking job. And if you can't do the job, get the fuck out of office and let the next person in. Stop wasting time. Stop laughing. Stop sitting on your ass and making fucking excuses. I mean, that's how I look at it. They ain't no better than me. Trump ain't no better than me. Mamdani's not. And not that I respect Mamdani. He's got more credentials than Trump. You see what I mean? At least he knows how to act with some respect. At least he knows how to use his communication skills. You know what I mean? Trump has zero.
For some reason, the press has found this to be a very interesting meeting. The biggest people in the world, they come over from countries nobody cares. But they did care about this meeting, and it was a great meeting. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. President, I was going to ask you exactly that. Why do you...
That's an interesting comment. I'm going to have to think about that one. What did Trump just say?
The biggest people in the world, they come over from countries nobody cares. But they did care about this meeting, and it was a great meeting. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. President.
That's an interesting comment. So what does that mean? That means a lot of people, they got a lot of businesses in New York. Some billionaires got some businesses in New York, and they're like, yo, are they taking this meeting seriously? Interesting.
I was going to ask you exactly that. Why do you think there's so much more, so much excitement around this than in some form?
Because I think he's different. All right? I think he's different. And that can be in a very positive way. But I think he's different than, your typical guy. Runs, wins, becomes mayor maybe, and nothing exciting. Because he has a chance to really do something great for New York. New York is at a very critical point. And he does need the help of the federal government to really succeed.
Look at this. So here you go. And he does need the help of the federal government. That's like highway robbery, because New York is a giver state. They generate more federal dollars than they use. So no shit, Sherlock. Every state should at least get back the money that they generate and give to you jackass. Like, you see what I mean? We do need the federal government. Yeah, but the federal fucking government apparently needs New York more. I mean, what the fuck? Who do you think paying the bills? The federal government doesn't pay its own bills. What the fuck? The states pay the bills. You see what I mean? And New York is a giver state. That means they generate more federal dollars than they use. And that extra federal dollars goes to other states that generate less federal dollars than they use. And this dude is talking about, you need the federal government. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. We are the fucking federal government, motherfucker. We pay the bills. What the hell is this? That's like saying, and you do need yourself. You need yourself, don't you? Yeah, but we fucked around and elected you to be the middleman to scam our ass. Damn.
We're going to be helping him. But
your job is to fucking help him, asshole. Like, what is this? We going to be helping him. He acts like that's something special. You know what I figured out I'm going to do today? I'm going to be a president. Did you know a president is supposed to help somebody, Nah, no shit. No shit.
He's different than, your average candidate. Hey, he came out of nowhere. I said he has a great campaign manager standing over there. He came out of nowhere. What'd you start off at 1 or 2? And then I watched. I said, who is this guy? He was at 1, then he was at 3, then he was at 5, then he was at 9.
I'm starting to like Trump. I hate to say that, but I'm starting to like him only because he's making the rest of these people that kiss his ass look stupid as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Trump. Like, you proved us right. You know what I mean? When someone stands up to you, you treat them like a fucking king. And that's exactly what we. I didn't know Trump would. This guy's all right.
Then he went up to 17. I said, let's get a little bit of trust there, right? And then all of a sudden he wins a primary that nobody expected he was going to win. It's like,
he's kissing his ass. Yo, click the like button, y'all. Thank you. I'm glad I decided to do this Mamdani visit. It's great. I witnessed a real event here. Like, damn. Sometimes just stopping what you were doing and saying, "Fuck this. I better go live on this shit." It's worth it. It's worth it. This is my live reaction. I'm seeing this live with you all. I haven't seen it before.
a great tribute. I mean, it's an amazing thing that he did.
I never hear Trump talk like this. What the hell is going on? What the hell? What did he just say?
And then all of a sudden he wins a primary that nobody expected he was going to win. It's a great tribute. I mean, it's an amazing thing that he did.
He said it's a great tribute. It's an amazing thing that he did.
It's a great tribute. I mean, it's an amazing thing that he did.
And I'll just add one thing to what the president said. Is one thing I also appreciated is in our meeting to appreciate a portrait of FDR. And
yo, Mamdani is dropping bombs. FDR, you know where he's going at, right? Y'all know what's up with this one, right?
the incredible work that was done with the New Deal, and also in thinking about what it can look like when the federal government and New York City government work together to deliver on affordability. It can be transformative.
You know, we have a great portrait of FDR that I found in the vaults that was missing for years. I found it, and I put it up.
He got to take credit for that one. He probably don't even know what fucking picture he's talking about.
He's a Democrat, to the best of my knowledge. He's a Democrat. And when the mayor saw that portrait, he said, "Sir, do you mind if I have a picture taken by that portrait?" It's an amazing.
Now, listen, y'all. Just for the people that don't know, FDR, right? Franklin Delano Roosevelt, right? Now, let me know if I said that wrong. Franklin D. Roosevelt. Now, he was responsible for the New Deal, 1933 to 1939, a sweeping set of economic and social reforms designed to lift the country out of the Great Depression. A lot of it, in my mind, if you're an American citizen, you should know this or heard something vaguely about this at the very least, because this is a critical point in U.S. history in the early 1900s, like the Great Depression. Right now, there's a lot that goes along with that. Now, the key New Deal achievements: Social Security Act. Social Security created that was created under FDR. You see what I mean? There was no Social Security system. Okay, old age pension, unemployment insurance, and federal aid programs. You see what I mean? So this is what he's talking about. Banking reforms, okay? Stabilizing the banking system and restoring public trust after massive bank failures. SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, regulated Wall Street. So that was created, you see what I mean, to crack down on the fraud. You see, I don't even think Trump knows what the fuck he's talking about. But if he does, great. Kudos to him if he does. Okay. Put millions of Americans to work, right? The jobs program, WPA, CC, PWA, put millions of Americans to work building bridges, roads, parks, schools, airports, and public buildings. I mean, this almost sounds like what Joe Biden was trying to do, but Trump stopped it. It was passed under Congress. It was passed under the Senate. It was signed by Joe Biden. Trump came in and stopped it. Infrastructure deal. Agricultural support helps stabilize crop prices and raise farm incomes. Again, I'm just saying, does Trump know what he's talking about when Mamdani mentions FDR? Leadership in the World War II. I think Mamdani may have outsmarted Trump right there. Leadership in World War II. Where's the leadership? What's Trump's leadership in regarding Ukraine and Russia? Ukraine's a small country. Russia's a superpower. What's he doing about that? You see what I'm saying? Major World War II contributions, mobilizing the U.S. into an arsenal of democracy, supporting other democracies. Is Trump doing that? You see? the Lend-Lease Act armed Britain and the Soviet Union before the U.S. fully entered the war. So he was already, aiding other groups fighting to stop the Nazis, right? Before entering the war, the U.S., right? Led Allied strategy. It goes on and on and on. But those are just some things for folks to know.
The picture comes
Let's say
out
that again.
in the vaults.
The incredible work that was done with the New Deal and also in thinking about what it can look like when the federal government and New York City government work together to deliver on affordability, it can be transformative.
We have a great portrait of FDR that I found in the vaults that was missing for years. I found it, and I put it up. He's a Democrat, to the best of my knowledge. He's a Democrat.
Look at this shit. Look at
When
this
the mayor
shit.
saw that portrait, he said, "Sir."
He's a Democrat, to the best of my knowledge. Look, I think he may have missed the whole damn point, right? I mean, okay. He's focusing on, I found a picture. Does he know what FDR even did?
Vaults that was missing for years. I found it, and I put it up. He's a Democrat, to the best of my knowledge. He's a Democrat. And when the mayor saw that portrait, he said, "Sir, do you mind if I have a picture taken by that portrait?" It's an amazing portrait. I hope the picture comes out good. But it's an amazing portrait in the cabinet room. So he's a big fan of the New Deal, I guess, and of FDR. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President. You said that you both spoke about crime.
Yeah.
There are many police officers set to come off the rolls at the end of this year in New York City. Are you going to allow those police to be replaced with police officers, actual cops? And are you going to require that that happens? Would there be some consequence?
Well, I hope it happens, but again, that's going to be ultimately the mayor's decision.
What's your answer?
Is that I look forward to delivering public safety with the NYPD, and I've said over the course of our campaign that we have the number of police officers today. They are the ones that's budgeted about 35,000 headcount. And I think the key thing is that we have to make it easier for police to focus on police work, not ask them to respond to 200,000 mental health calls a year.
So is that a reduction from what you're at right now? Are you committing to maintaining the same level of cops?
I've committed over the course of the campaign to maintain the 35,000. That's the headcount that we had through the campaign.
And not replace them with caseworkers, social work?
No, I've said that's the headcount that we want. What we need to do is make sure they can focus on serious crime.
And he just retained a great police commissioner, I believe.
Trump is backing this guy up. I mean, in this meeting right here, every step of the way, he's like selling Mamdani now. How you MAGA folk feel about that? Anything? Let me know if you supported Trump. Let me know. How do you feel about this? Let me know. Are you liking this meeting or is this meeting bad? If you like this meeting and you're MAGA, you're a Republican, you're a Trump supporter, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't like the meeting, put a 2 in the chat. I think they all going to like this meeting because it's too painful to admit some shit happened you didn't expect. I didn't expect it. I'm not a Republican. I didn't support Trump, but I could tell you honestly, I'm surprised here. But then again, Mamdani is running class right here. You see what I'm saying? He's running diplomacy class. He's running academia class here. He's running public service class all around. Goddamn Trump is like, yeah, man, this guy knows what he's talking about. It's like, wow, this is amazing. Let me see here. Let me look at the chat. I don't think Trump supporters are going to really comment about this meeting too much. Nothing definitive because it doesn't go along with their narrative, right? So I'm sure Nick Fuentes hates this meeting, right? Because he definitely don't want peace in the Middle East, and he definitely don't want Mamdani in the White House having Trump like sell him. He doesn't want that. You see what I mean? So yeah. But in any case, I'll let give the MAGA folk a break. I won't be too hard on them. I understand how it must feel.
Right?
Yes, we did, Commissioner Fish.
If the newspapers are correct.
That one they're correct about.
He retained, I think, somebody that is she's a good friend of some of the people in my family, of Ivanka, and they say she's really good, really competent, and he just retained her, so that's a good sign.
Are there still topics that you see the two disagreeing on in the future? And do you think
Yo, that bitch said Trump has always been willing to compromise when he's being blackmailed. Yeah. It's like, does he have access to the Epstein files? Is that what this is about? He is a New Yorker. And I've been saying this forever. It's the FBI are definitely not the only people that have this dirt, because there's a lot of people that wanted that dirt, and Epstein was willing to give it. You see what I mean? And he was leaking that shit a lot. He was like showing people. How many people do you think he showed those pictures to of Trump that Michael Wolff alleges Epstein showed him? How many people did Epstein have that conversation with? You know, I'm serious. I'm being real. I've never seen Trump turn coat like this, only with Putin. And obviously Putin likely has his own dirt compromising shit on Trump. Netanyahu, right? I mean, this is like weird. This is weird, you know? And now Mamdani, and it's unexplainable. It's still unexplainable. You can't come out and say all those dastardly things about somebody and then turn face like that. Just totally take a complete total change in direction. I mean, I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. Mamdani is a great, you know, he's a great, he's a seasoned individual. Like, he knows what he's doing. He's a people person. He's a great diplomat. He's great. You know, I can see why he is the mayor. He is 100% competent. He's a thinker, and he's aware of what the job takes. He's aware of the situation he's in, right? But still, having said all that, I mean, is there one other element to it that he could easily pull his card on? Because a person that would be able to pull his card that way wouldn't let you know it so easy. Their body language, they wouldn't have the meeting like, nah, nanny, boo-boo, see. And you know what, Trump? I can always hold those pictures up if you don't agree with me right now. He's not doing it like that. A smooth cat doing some smooth blackmail would have just mentioned that nice and quietly one time early in the meeting. You know what I'm saying? And then was been like, but I'd rather work things out with you if we could. It's better for both of us. And then the whole meeting would go right privately. And then when you turn on the cameras, everything would go even better. That's what I would be thinking. But you let me know. Does Mamdani have the Epstein files? Is that why this is going so well? Put a 1 in the chat if Mamdani has the Epstein files. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't think he has them.
You'll have more meetings like this?
There will be topics that we disagree on. I think we'll probably come to a conclusion,
and please click the like button.
Ultimately, he'll convince me, or I'll convince him. You know, it's for the good of New York. Ultimately, it's for the good of New York. I don't care about affiliations or parties or anything else. I want to see if this city could be unbelievable. If
Trump files.
He could be a spectacular success.
Notice nobody's saying they got no compromising shit on Mamdani. That's for damn sure. That's the thing. I mean, really, that's where it's at. If he did, they would have it, you know.
Yes, I'd be very.
Because they definitely hate his ass.
Happy.
Do you think you guys will meet more in the future too?
Excuse?
Do you think you'll meet again in the future? You know, throughout the administration?
I think we will. Yeah. I think we will. I hope we do. I enjoyed the meeting. We had a great meeting. Please.
This is what I'm saying. Like, he's like, we had a great meeting. I mean, yo, the meeting could have been good, but he's going out of his way to tell you that he had a great goddamn meeting. Like, a great meeting. I don't get this. I don't get this. I'm a little lost. I'm lost.
Mr. President, Republican Elise Stefanik has campaigned multiple times by calling Zohran Mamdani a jihadist. Do you think you're standing next to a jihadist right now in the Oval Office?
No.
He said no. I was about to cut it off before he said that, and I was going to say, guess, I bet he says no now. Listen to this.
Great meeting. Please.
Mr. President, Republican Elise Stefanik has campaigned multiple times by calling Zohran Mamdani a jihadist. Do you think you're standing next to a jihadist right now in the Oval Office?
No, I don't, but she's out there campaigning, and, you know, you say things sometimes in a campaign.
Isn't that sort of
She's a very capable person, but you'd really have to ask her about that. But I don't particularly. I think I met with a man who's a very rational person. I met with a man who really wants to see.
MAGA. Is Mamdani a rational person, MAGA people? How do you Republicans, you maggots out there, is Mamdani a rational person? Is he rational like Trump says he is? Or is he not? Is he a jihadist like that other one said? Or is he not like Trump said? You tell me, maggots. Let's hear it. What excuses you got now?
I have to ask her about.
You gotta ask her. Damn, that sounds like he just threw somebody under the bus.
Oval Office?
No, I don't. Please.
Mr. President, Republican Elise Stefanik has campaigned multiple times by calling Zoran Mamdani
EVM said Trump is a spineless coward. You don't say, huh?
a jihad.
I think.
I mean, is there something I would even go a step lower if I knew the words. Damn.
I hope we do. I enjoyed the meeting. We had a great meeting. Please.
Mr. President, Republican Elise Stefanik has campaigned multiple times by calling Zoran Mamdani a jihadist. Do you think you're standing next to a jihadist right now in the Oval Office?
No, I don't. But she's out there campaigning, and you say things sometimes in a campaign.
Isn't that sort of
She's a very capable person. But you'd really have to ask her about that. But I don't particularly. I think I met with a man who's a very rational person. I met with a man who.
Trump throws everybody under the bus. I mean, Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, you're next. You're getting thrown under that bus.
Really wants to see New York be.
Haven't seen Rudy in a while. Correct.
Great again, and I can say again, because New York was great. You know, when I came down to Washington initially. The city was so hot. It was doing great. We were having some telltale signs of problems. We had a mayor that was not doing a great job, but still, it was moving
Eric Adams, shout out to you.
along. And
corrupt ass Eric Adams.
It went bad. It really went, pretty bad.
He'd be in jail if it wasn't for Trump right now.
And I think it's been at lower points, but it went pretty bad. I think he can bring it back. Now, the question is, will he bring it back all the way? Will he bring it back greater than ever before, which is, I guarantee, that's his wish. I think he wants to make it greater than ever before. And if he can, we'll be out there cheering. I'll be cheering for him. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you
very much.
Oh, no, I care very deeply about Jewish safety, and I look forward to rooting out anti-Semitism across the 5 boroughs and protecting Jewish New Yorkers and every New Yorker who calls the City Hall.
Wow. This was amazing. Yo, you guys, thank you all for joining me for this little episode. I'll be back in 2.5 hours, something like that. 2 hours, 3 hours tops. Closer to 2 hours. You know, this kind of goes to show you that you don't really know which way politics turn. There's no guarantee, right? There's no real guarantee about that. Did I see someone? Did they speak afterwards when they came outside? Let me see here. And it's also, don't get me wrong, people have their different sides to these events, and also a lot of times in the media, these things are framed as being like Republican or Democrat or this, that. They're framed that way. But, my advice is always step to each moment with clarity. Let the moment speak for themselves. You don't have to guess how they're going to turn out. It doesn't have to turn out the way you want it to turn out. And it doesn't have to turn out the way you believe it should turn out. Every moment is a moment in itself. And, but I have to tell you, I would not have guessed. Because this is such a turnaround. But this is very Trump. This is a complete, utter turnaround. He threw a lot of people under the bus. Trump did right here. It is Trump, but that is part of what is an enigma. Excuse that word. What is an enigma about fucking Trump? Because he'd throw everybody under the bus. He don't even give a goddamn. And he doesn't even realize it. He doesn't goddamn realize it. He does it with his mouth. Trump doesn't know. He doesn't have no clue. He doesn't have any care. And if you come to him and try to tell him he did something wrong or should have done something different, you're going to become the enemy fast of Trump. You're going to find out real fast. Don't you ever tell Trump he's wrong. And unless you got a spine, unless you have integrity. I guess that's the lesson. Unless you could tell him he's wrong, but don't try to outstage him. You see what I mean? But a person with no spine wouldn't even try to tell him when he's wrong. You see what I mean? They just wouldn't. They wouldn't care. They would be like, fuck this. I need my job. I need my job. But in any case, click the like button. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, noise. For real. I should never say that word enigma again. God damn. It's, this is just, they fucking up the whole English language. I used to like that word now. But in any case, I'm going to be back in like 2 hours, y'all, for the next scheduled stream. And we're going to take it up where we fell off earlier today in the last stream, in the middle of the night. That was the middle of the night U.S. time. But yeah, and we're going to get it more into the latest news. Trump has been threatening to send people to jail, but apparently it's not Mamdani. Mamdani's not an old enemy, right? He's not somebody that's, he has history with. Maybe that got something to do with it. And again, in politics, that's also matters. That's why I always tell people, don't sit back, run for office, shake it up. Like, it's nothing wrong with young representation, new representation in parties, in any parties, because I think what happens with a lot of the old representation, not that they do bad jobs intentionally, some of them just don't do that great, but not that it's about intention. I think it's just people don't realize how everyone is seeing them. When you're there in a position, you don't see yourself. You don't see yourself from other people's perspective. You see yourself from your own perspective. And I think in politics that counts. Perceptions can hurt in politics just as much as what you do or don't do. Just the perception. Just how you sound, just what people feel. Even if people are distrusting of government, even if you never did anything to earn that distrust, people can distrust you. So you have to try to find ways to combat it. And I think in the U.S. politics, there's a lot of toxicity, and that's where young people come into play. We need younger people standing up for their country, running for office, and and I think we get around some of that stuff. And I think that might have been one thing that I got out of this with Mamdani, just seeing a younger guy come out with something different that people can learn from. And I'm not just saying Democrats can learn from him. Everybody. Mamdani, you need to learn from this. Your ass is old. You 60 years old. You've been working, so you're hardened, and you got your perceptions about what's right and wrong, and you won't change. You're too fucking old to change. And a lot of these other cats around Trump, I mean, they're not old. J.D. Vance, you just a wimp. J.D. Vance is just a wimp. He's not no Mamdani. You see what I mean? Yeah, the integrity is not there with J.D. Vance, but it's there with Mamdani. Trump is missing a lot of people with integrity because they were willing to kind of go along with this way of doing things where you just say yes to things that you just know damn well ain't right. So on that note, I'll be back. I appreciate everybody. I'll be back in 2 hours, so see y'all there. Be good. Release the Epstein files. They still not released, y'all. The Epstein files still not released, so we'll see. We'll see. See ya.
Can you feel it? Nothing can save ya, cause this is the season of funky behavior. I came to relax your mind, you can recline. On what? On this here rhyme. I like the style, I'm staying for a while. It helps me show cats that I'm versatile. I'll touch your dial, turn your frown to a smile. I'll make you feel like you're having a child. So relax and open up, child. I'm about to make you walk what? Pimp style or pimped out style. You don't understand the logic. See if you don't have it all, I'll take a deposit. I got shit for you, it's alright indeed. It's like going to the garden and planting the seed. It might tickle for a second, but it won't bleed. So just relax, just hear a dope cry. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you could wear your hat. Just relax, and just hear a dope cry. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Your entertainment at the same time edutainment. In other words, you could call it bent. What I'm saying is that I'm here at your service. It's hard work, but then again, I deserve this. I'm helping people enjoy their spare time. I'm like an instructor when I'm doing my rhyme. Relax and just hear the dope track. It's really not all that, it's not like a gag. We like that when everything is relaxed and chill. You don't have to get fucked up or take pills, cause I like being myself, it feels good. Yo, it makes my meals taste good. 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 So just relax. It's your dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real bad. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax and hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real bad. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax. My mind state, now balloon, it won't inflate. Just take the buzz, this my Twaza kid, fuck the shade. And take it to a lower level, and dig a ditch for a devil. Got some more kids and pass the shovel. Dig a hole, take them on a spiritual roll. Lyrics unfold, either that or unroll the scroll. Episodes keep reoccurring and stifling. People's vision get blurring, their hearts start murmuring. I'm about 5 times iller than a Sherman. The introspection is God's gift to the miracle. I freak material, lamb's milk without the cereal. When MCs say your booty, they mean venereal. Your fake material hip-hop killers, they more faking than fucking Michael Jackson and Thriller. The status of a hoe, Quanto Costa. They wanna know how much it costs, kid, I bet for keep to me. Just relax and just hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real bad. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you could wear your hat. Just relax and just hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real bad. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you could wear your hat. Just relax. They want war. Crime babies looking for food. Starvation, the recipe. People subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day in every clue. Don't let it go. It's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep. Leaving 7 rows to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct. Then I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and up and we on the brink. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die. You voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way